Heroes, villains, a tale as old as time, and the never-ending battle to protect truth and justice from those who thrive. on Chaos and Bloodshed. Come with us as we peel back the mask on your beloved Crusaders of Light and dive deep into the dark and twisted abyss of your most feared and hated harbingers of doom. Follow your host, Power Maximus, and everyone's favorite demigod, Lord Triage, as they take a trip down the rabbit hole that is everything super. So, are you a hero or a villain? Either way, find that super suit and suit up for the Super Breakdown.
Calm down. Thank you. We are back with another episode of the Super Breakdown. I'm your host, Power Maximus, the Red Wolf himself. I'm here with everyone's favorite arachnid demigod, Lord Triage. Yes. We got a great episode for you today. We're talking about, if you're viewing, you probably already saw the title of this stream for today. We are talking about the Bulletproof Hero For Hire himself, Luke Cage, also known as Power Man. Yes, it's gonna be a fun one. I love this character. I love everything that he stands for. The show was absolutely amazing. Michael Coulter playing Luke Cage was absolutely amazing. Every time they put Luke Cage into things, which isn't a lot, they always do the character well. At least to my experience. Lord Triage, would you mind, as always, let them know who Luke Cage is where he comes from, and why he is the shit?
Okay, so Luke grew up in New York City, oddly enough, just like everybody else, in inside the MCU. But his actual given name isn't actually Luke Cage; it's actually Carl Lucas. Now, as a young man, Luke kind of got in a little trouble every now and again. Wanted becoming a member of a street gang, along with his pal and best friend Willis Stryker. Now, the gang that was called the Rivals, with a few other key members who pop up later on in down the road in Luke's future. Now, when Luke had a run-in with the law, it kind of scared him straight to the point where he backed away from his criminal, let's say, towing the line with his criminal activity, and kind of backed away from it and got it on a straight and narrow path. While Stryker began to rise through the ranks of the gang that they were in, or the gang known as the Rivals. "Quote unquote, we ain't got none." So, yeah. So in the process of this happening, Willis's girlfriend, who was Reva Connors, that's the chick who you wind up seeing in the show later on, actually leaves Willis for Luke.
And that's where we end up picking up in the show Luke Cage. After her untimely demise by the literal hands of Jessica Jones. But we don't talk about Bruno. But now, what makes this this character Luke Cage, Carl Johnson, Power Man so special?
Now, so here's the wild part. Fucking Willis, in a fit of rage, frames Luke for heroin possession and winds up having him sent to Seagate Prison. Now, Seagate's actually kind of interesting to me. Seagate's sort of like it's sort of like the Marvel version of Blackgate Prison. It's like we're all like the miscellaneous no name villains and the wild ones wind up at, because there really is no. I mean, there is big prisons in the Marvel universe. You got the raft, you got the farm, you got the negative zone, but it's like Blackgate is the one that's like, I want to say at street level.
For just
So
like the street power, trying to like super power, like the street villains, not super villains.
yeah, like if you get locked up in the raft, you're like you basically a terrorist.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. Yeah. So like raft is for like terrorists or like just below Avenger level threats in a way. Like pretty much majority of Spider-Man's rogue gallery got to go to the raft. So just to put it in perspective, like the raft is like for the like the worst of the worst. You know what I mean? That have like killed people, murdered people, but Seagate is more so like for the dudes that was robbing and stealing, using their superpowers and shit like that.
Correct.
Okay.
Now, go ahead.
I just wanted to put it in perspective for the viewers.
Yeah. So while in the raft, Luke decides to volunteer for a, let's say, experimental super soldier program. Unfortunately, Luke being someone who was educated, who was outspoken, who was very pro-black, he wound up getting on the wrong end of a racist white guard who tried to kill him during the experiment. Now, he took the test and turned it all the way to 10 in the hopes that it would kill Luke. Instead, it heightened his strength, made his muscles extremely dense, and made his bones tissue damn near unbreakable.
Okay, so, and ladies and gentlemen, all of us, this is why he's called the Bulletproof Hero for Hire. Now, Hero for Hire, that comes in a little bit later on down the line now. But now I want to point out that this character Luke Cage he's a bit of a lone wolf, but he definitely has been known. He's definitely known to team up from time to time. We've seen it. The Defenders. He's actually teamed up with the New Avengers. Like the list goes on. We got the Avengers, the New Avengers. His first team was the Heroes for Hire, which I believe that was Luke, Iron Fist. Who else? Who else was rocking with the Heroes for Hire? Let's see. Luke, Iron Fist. There was. Damn, I'm trying to remember all the characters. Damn, I can't remember.
You said in the Defenders?
No, in the Heroes for Hire.
I believe it was Misty Knight, him, and Iron Fist.
Just the three of them?
Memory serves me correctly. I could be wrong.
Was White Tiger in there too?
Not to my knowledge. Don't quote me on that.
Let's see. There's Colleen Wing. What did she? She was White Tiger, right? Colleen.
I don't believe so. I believe wasn't Colleen Wing. Colleen Wing was the one from Iron Fist. She was the one that was instructing him. Not instructing him. She was like his love interest. Excuse me.
Yeah, but I think doesn't she essentially become White Tiger because he passes the Iron Fist off to her?
Oh, that'd be news to me.
Shit, I don't even know anymore. They took so many creative liberties with the show.
And the thing with the White Tiger is a mantle, so it's like there's more than one.
Oh, so it's like the Iron Fist mantle.
Yes.
Okay. So like, yeah, he's done the Avengers, New Avengers, Heroes for Hire, Defenders, Fantastic Four at one point in time. He's definitely part of the Marvel Knights. He's rocked with the Thunderbolts at one point in time. Like again, he's partnered up with Iron Fist, Misty Knight, Colleen Wing, Jessica Jones. Yeah, he's definitely partnered up with Jessica Jones a few times. And it took her out for some coffee.
I drink mine black. I'm just saying.
I like a little milk in mine. A little milk.
Occasionally. So I had a cup today.
God, I need coffee. But no, yeah, this character is to me, I believe personally, to me, I feel like he's one of the biggest pro black characters in the Marvel universe, aside from Black Panther and Storm.
Right. Well, but the funny thing about Luke Cage is that I gotta be careful when I say this, because Storm isn't necessarily a quote unquote pro black character. She's one of those. She's pro her people, as in like more mutants. And then you got T'Challa, who's pro black, but he's pro Wakandan. Like the Wakandans see the Wakanda first, and then every place else. Let's not forget that small fact.
Oh shit! I was about to say some shit.
Is that Power Farrakhan coming back out?
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Well, for all those who don't get that joke, you can go back and watch the last episode.
I'm just saying, we've heard, you know, Wakanda First sounds quite a lot like America First.
Whoa.
Mm.
I'm not. I wasn't even kicking that hornet's nest, but anywho. Let's see. So after discovering his abilities, Luke actually wound up escaping from the prison, faked his death, and then reinvented himself as Luke Cage, established himself in Harlem as a hero for hire. But instead of taking cash, he would take goods or exchange for favors or stuff like that. Now, first off, he just started off as like a local grounded hero, just taking on people in the neighborhood. Like he actually came back head to head with Stryker, who actually the dude who was the one who framed him. He was now calling himself Diamondback. And then he went as long as going as going far as dealing with his new group, which was the Serpent Society. Now, here's the funny thing, because I always thought they were leading towards that in the show, and I feel like it just never happened. Because a Diamondback is a snake. A Bushmaster is a snake.
Cottonmouth is a snake.
So yeah, like I kept feeling like they were trying to prelude that. Like, you know, what if these guys were like all from different areas or different continents, or whatever the case may be, and they were all black and they all had some kind of hands, or like basically like they were the high table of like the MCU.
I agree. Weren't they kind of hinted to the Serpent Society and the new Captain America that's coming out?
I haven't heard much about that outside the leader was the villain, but I mean, it would make sense because we've already seen 3 of the members. And it's like,
wasn't the last member a female?
Yes, there is a female member of the team, but the one thing that I always thought was interesting was, like I said, it got it got hinted at, but it was never really addressed outright, because I kept waiting for them niggas to pop up like, yo, we understand that you're trying to take on our crew, we got an issue with this. Because I just kept waiting for whoever was that them niggas answer to pop up like, yo, who wants to smoke?
Yeah, like I could have seen it as like a post credit scene at the end of season 2 after he takes out Bushmaster, or at least have another season where he takes on like the final, the last member of the Serpent Society, and then have like a ending cutscene of someone of the person they answer to, pretty much getting together and like officially forming the Serpent Society, but they couldn't do that because they killed off Cottonmouth.
Right, because I mean, there's also Cobra, there's Sidewinder, there's Anaconda, there's Asp, there's Black Mamba, and it's like there's Rattler, like there's other half a dozen people who were part of this squad, and it's like I kept waiting for them to pop up, and they never really did. So I always thought that was interesting.
Same.
And it'd been cool because it'd have been like these niggas could have had their hands in everything.
Like seriously. Okay, hold up. We'll take a minute to give a shout out to one of our viewers right now. Shout out to Midnight Comics. Thank you guys for watching. Love you guys. Thank you guys for all the help and all the support that you guys have been definitely giving us. But yeah. um, Now, for a lot of people who don't know, um, Luke Cage, the character for Luke Cage was created during the height of what we call the black exploitation genre. As you said, as he already said, Luke was a prisoner, went through, all these experiments, got his powers and everything. If you guys are interested in learning more about him as well, outside of the podcast, take a look at his first appearance, which was in Luke Cage Heroes for Our Hire #1, which came out in June 1972. I also want to point out that the character was created by Archie Goodwin, George Tuska, George Tuska, Roy Thomas, and John Romita Sr. Um, Now I don't know, but a lot of these names sound. I want to shed a light on something that we had talked about in a few episodes ago. Especially when we talked about Black Panther, how Black Panther, though he's a very very strong black character, very very strong pro black character, um, was created by a white man. But and the same goes for this character as well. All four of the creators are Caucasian, which you know and I feel like they did very well with one, building a black character, not necessarily fitting the normal racial stereotypes of the character, as in look wise. um he's a he's like a over 6 foot tall, all black man.
6'4", I want to say well over 400. Excuse me, 6'6", well over 400 pounds.
Yeah, and the 400 pounds is specifically just because of his body density, because of the experiments.
Correct.
Now, not only does he have unbreakable skin, like you said, he has that super strength as well that goes along with it. That's probably why. Yeah, that's all muscle. That's all
Mhm.
muscle. In the show, in the first season, there's a few experiments done, and she finds out that his skin reacts like a crab shell. So his skin is like plated with this super strong, super dense, like scales in a way. I would say scales, but it's like like that are layered, like I would say shells that are layered like scales in a way. At least that's the way they had depicted it in or explained it more so in the show.
Yeah. Well, that's one of the things that's kind of interesting in the comics because like comics will break things down to an extent, but it's like to actually give like an actual reasoning or layer or level behind what's capable of or what's been done is the cool part. Like you said, the whole breaking down of like the actual hardness and density of the skin. They just say it's as hard as steel or it's unbreakable.
Mm.
But then to actually rationalize it to like an actual animal, like, oh no, it's as hard as a crab shell. If a crab was 6'6".
No, yeah, and again, that makes sense. It's the same idea with Ant Man. When Ant Man shrinks, small, but all his strength as a normal gets compacted. So even when he's small, it makes him even stronger. He has the power. You know what I mean? It condenses all his strength. Um, so it's the same idea with that. Now when they were in development, Roy Thomas discussed the character back in he says in 1971, when the success of the Shaft movie had reached an interracial audience, Stan Lee decided that it was time to go beyond Black Panther and Captain America's partner, the Falcon, Sam Wilson, um as a support character. He wanted to go beyond that. Apparently he had said, I think we briefly toyed with the notion of a Falcon comic book, but probably felt the Falcon was better off where he was, and that he was perhaps not as strong of a character as we needed, which is pretty interesting seeing as how he's the new Captain America now. Now, again, this is a quote coming from Roy Thomas. When he mentioned that he wanted to work up to a new African American superhero who would be a bit different, it would start right out in his own comic. He asked me, this is a conversation between Roy and Stan. Um, Stan asked him for his suggestions as a writer. He says, I didn't feel I should do the character myself, so I suggested Archie Goodwin, although Gary Conway, Lynn Wayne, and others must have crossed Stan's mind. So at this point, Archie, Stan, and John Romita um, decided that, screw it, they're gonna do it. So they got together, mixed things up, um, and next thing you know, a year later, 1972, we get Luke Cage, um, which again was pretty awesome, pretty awesome. Um, but and so I want to touch on the way he looks, though. I definitely want to touch on the way, like when we first see him in Heroes for Hire issue #1.
Yeah,
Or
go ahead. Go ahead.
let's touch on that.
So,
Yeah, go ahead.
Luke's traditional look when we first see him is in a yellow, and once again I'm gonna say it, bright fucking yellow, a button-down shirt with the collar, with
Mhm.
chains around his wrists, his waist with a belt, and then he's got like a metal crown on his head with blue pants and matching gold and matching yellow and blue boots.
Like I don't even want to say, I don't even want to call it a crown, bro. I don't even want to call it a crown.
Oh, I'm
Like
sorry. Was it a tiara?
it was more like a tiara. It was more like a tiara. So hold on, I'm bringing it for the people to see. Let me bring it up for the people to see.
The
Look at this.
same.
Look at this.
Anything to emasculate a black man.
All right, look at this. Look at this. Zoom in on that. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Here we go. Yeah, look at this. This is what the original cover looked like initially. Like hilarious, hilarious. Now I do like the way they explain it away a little bit in the in the show. At least the tiara. Didn't he at one point he had like cuffs on his arms, right? That's what
Yeah,
the
it was
silk.
part of the restraints from him being inside the tank.
Yeah, and I love the way oh man, like just the way they explained that in the show was awesome. And
Oh,
we see him, mind you, he's in prison, so his beard's grown out, his hair's grown out, he got the fro. He breaks out, he still has the chains around his waist from the restraints. As you can see in the image, he still has, the chain around his waist, he has the cuffs on his arms. And the fact that they had the character run around in still wearing the restraints of his Power Farrakhan coming out here, of his oppressor, and fighting crime in the chains of his oppressor, as a reminder of the shit that he went through. I personally feel like that was it's a great message, and it's awesome. It's just super fun, and it's super funny on top of that.
yeah. Well, he acknowledges it himself in the TV show. We see that one scene like where he turns around, sees his reflection. He's like, "You look like a damn fool." And he takes.
Oh man. Um Now, oh yeah, I had mentioned a phrase earlier that I don't think maybe not a lot of people know. When I said black exploitation, not a lot of people know what black exploitation means, or what the black exploitation genre of film and media is. So black exploitation is an ethnic subgenre of the exploitation film that emerged in the United States during the early 1970s. uh the term is it's like words of the words black and exploitation was coined. It's a mixture of black and exploitation. It was coined back in August of 1972 by Julius Griffin, and the president of the Beverly Hills Hollywood NAACP branch. Because a lot of times when people hear black exploitation, they're like, "Oh, white people were making movies exploiting the black genre. No. It's for us by us. Remember that. For us by us. Now he claimed the genre was more of a proliferating was for proliferating offenses to the black community and its perpetuation of stereotypes often involved in crime. So essentially kind of like, oh, every time they see a black person in a movie, at least at that time, they were a criminal, drug dealer, blah blah blah. And this was our way of making fun of that, essentially putting light towards how certain people would downplay us and put us in these really shitty roles and give us these really shitty stories to pretty much make black people look bad at the time. The genre does rank among the first is the first after the race films in the 1940s and 60s, in which black characters in the communities again are the protagonists, and subjects of film and television rather than sidekicks and antagonists and victims of brutality. Again, like I said, they always had us as a sidekick, like Sam Wilson, or the bad guy, or in somehow be the ones always getting beat up and hurt.
Right. And just so we're clear, for some examples, he's talking about the original. He's talking about the original Shaft. He's talking about Coffin. He's talking about Superfly. He's talking about movies like Foxy Brown, Bones.
Mm-hmm. Let's not forget Black Dynamite.
Black Dynamite, yes.
Dynamite. Dang. Which was like, it was pretty much like a parody of Shaft in a way.
Yeah, I always looked at it as like Shaft met Bruce Lee.
Yes, yeah, Shaft met Bruce Lee. Absolutely. Yeah, right there. Exactly. So I just wanted to put that out there and make sure that everyone understood what I was, when I said what I said. I said what I said, god damn it. Now I'm doing my best to keep Power Farrakhan at bay, bro. I'm doing my best. But yes, Luke. Damn, I'm trying not to. Fuck, I can't help it. I said what I said, and thus, as you can see, the word blaxploitation. This is some of the all up for people who didn't understand what I said the first time. There's a lot of words. Blaxploitation is a genre for us, by us. So y'all people, as I said what I said again, can stop making fun of my people. All right, I'm back. But yeah, now when we take it into the show, again, you probably again, as we all know, Triage knows way more about comic books than I do. Clearly knows way more about comic books than I do. So when you coming from the comic books and into the actual show, what are some of the some of the things that clearly they took creative liberty to the show? What are certain things that you saw in the show that are comic book accurate?
So, like, for example, the fact that Reva did not have any standings with Stryker before Luke got locked up. The fact that they made Stryker and Luke brothers, that was something that they took creative liberty with. But it's also one of those things like where Luke's past has been revamped and rewritten. For example, like there is a version of the story where he was just an outright criminal and got arrested. And then once he got sent to prison, the experiment happened. And then he got out and tried to make things better, opposed to changing beforehand on the straight and being on the straight and narrow and being framed.
Okay.
So it's all, it might just be one of those things that once again, it depends on the version of the story you're reading. As Lord knows, across the multiverse, there are different aspects of different stories. Now, I don't hate Michael Coulter's portrayal of Luke Cage, but he wouldn't have been my first pick.
Oh, really, really. Now this is interesting because I personally love Michael Colter's portrayal of Luke Cage. Well, also, again, it's also the first live action portrayal of Luke Cage. But why do you feel that way?
Well, my whole thing is like Luke. Luke was cool. Luke had swag. Luke, for better lack of words, was that nigga, man. Like Luke was like a blackjack reacher.
Mm,
So Luke walked into a room. He commanded respect. He had everyone's attention. And I get that the ladies liked him, and they was like, they thought he was cute and all this other shit. But like even the one dude says, like, how was a sister that fine gonna throw out a brother with a mop? And he's like, some young men, some brothers got it, some brothers don't. It's called game. Like, you know what I mean?
mm, mm. Okay, I definitely see that difference because in the show he's more portrayed as kind of like quiet, shy to himself, and then that is in the show. That's the allure that he has for the women in the show. The fact that
Right.
he's a 6 foot tall, bald black man, quiet to himself, very well articulating. So in the show that was kind of the allure. I can definitely see that. Yeah, that I would have definitely liked the portrayal of him to be more kind of like outgoing.
Well, my thing also was it's like you had to look at it this way. Like Luke was also a man at a time. Not so much at a time, but let's say he was born in the wrong decade.
Mm,
So like for him to talk and carry himself the way he did, he'd be carrying himself the way someone 20, 30 years older than him would.
this is true. Very true.
And then the other thing,
Mm,
and now stop me if I'm wrong, Luke was with the shits. Like Luke was supposed to be like Shaft if Shaft was bulletproof. Like he's supposed to be the nigga who walks up to the drug dealer, picks him up by the scruff of his neck, slaps him in the face, and says, "What's my name?" What? What's my name? I don't know your name. Luke Cage. What? Luke Cage. Oh, say my name. Luke Cage. Luke Cage. All right. You see me on the block, you in the opposite direction. You understand me? Let me catch you out here again.
yep. One of
What's
those.
my name?
One of
Luke Cage.
it's one of those situations like, what does Marcellus Wallace look like? Huh?
Yes.
What
Yes.
does Marcellus Wallace look like? Huh? Does he look like a bitch?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. You know what? I would definitely. Even towards the ending of the second season, we don't see that. We still see him as a very quiet to himself. I'm not gonna make any waves. I'm not gonna bother nobody. I'm gonna just do my own thing and mind my business, kind of thing. And that shit apparently made women's panties drop.
Just wet.
Just coffee and creamer pouring everywhere.
Right?
But again, this also the difference might be because of the time frame. Because when we see him in the comic books is from the 70s, and that was the thing in the 70s. Outspoken, outgoing black man. Yeah, yeah, you know what I'm saying, exactly like that. But now, with the change with the times, they had to write the script a little more modern. You know what I mean? And again, I mean at the same, but then you also have to look at the producers of the show as well, who are also um very strong minded, very smart, educated, modern black men as well. So
Mm.
I guess it also had to take a turn for, these are the times. Women wouldn't react too well to a 6 foot tall bald black man walking up to you like, "Yo, what's good, mama? How you doing?" You know what I mean? Especially the type of women that they had in the show that are also strong, articulate black women. Hell no, hell no. So they had to make him a little more respectful, a little more quiet, a little more shy and docile. But again, being a 6 foot tall, bald black man, when he steps in a room, everybody turns and looks.
Mm.
He stands out in the crowd. So that's a thing. That's something that I feel like maybe is why they wrote the character the way they did in the show.
Right. Because there was a lot of rumors about who was supposed to be playing him. Some people said it was going to be The Rock. Some people said it was going to be Terry Crews. My pick is still Michael J. White.
Agreed. Yes. Yep.
And then they could have let him be. They could have let him be Luke Cage. And then Scott Adkins could have been Iron Fist, and that movie fucking writes itself.
Oh my God. Oh, you done did it right there. You done did it right there. Now again, I personally don't like Scott Adkins as an actor, personally, but as a stuntman and a martial artist, I respect man's steel, bro. He's highly proficient mixed martial artist, black belt in multiple different martial arts. Same thing with Michael J. White. I feel like the fight that we got in Defenders, would have been crazy. That would have been absolute crazy. But I also feel like Luke Cage, because of his size, because of his weight, he's a tank. The problem with Michael J. White is that he's not necessarily a tank. Yes, he's tall as shit. Yes, he's like brolic as hell, but he's agile as a motherfucker. He's super, super fucking agile. He's super light on his feet.
But even then, that makes it even that. But to me, that's even better because that means he's got the agility of an athlete and hits like a freight train. That would be Luke. Spot on. He just didn't need to be acrobatic, and he didn't need. How can I put this? He didn't need to be agile. He needed to be swift.
Okay.
So he don't need to necessarily be acrobatic, but when he makes contact, he makes contact.
Okay, I can see that.
And then if you had like Scott Adkins playing Iron Fist, who actually is the acrobatic martial artist, they would play off each other perfectly.
Yeah, that right there would have been perfect. But again, they got this. I don't want to talk about Bruno. I don't want to talk about Iron Fist. Like the first
I
season of
would.
Iron Fist was like, eh. And again, we're only talking about Iron Fist because we were talking about Luke Cage, and you can't necessarily talk about Luke Cage in himself without talking about the rest of the Defenders, and other characters because of his multiple team ups and shit. And again, in season 2, we see a big team up with Iron Fist. The whole episode team up with Iron Fist and Danny Rand.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And once again, that was one of them things where, and I don't hate Finn Jones as an actor, but it's one of them things like he's not that guy.
Agreed. Definitely agreed.
I don't believe he's the martial artist they portray him to be. Not by no means. Now, once again, look at the kid from the Ten Rings.
Simalu.
Now, I don't know how extensive his martial arts background was, but he carried himself to the point where I believe he's doing fucking damage.
Mm-hmm. And I think he is. I think he maybe not as extensive as Michael J. White or Scott Adkins, but I do believe that Simalu does have martial arts background. Again, I'm not sure. Me and my fiance were just watching a show. I think it was one of the show that really helped him blow up as an actor. Kim's Convenience or something like that on Netflix. It's a funny ass show. Funny ass show. I recommend you guys watch it. You want something that you can sit down and have a good laugh with. Sit down with with your fiance and shit, like something lighthearted. Fucking hilarious show. Definitely go check it out and watch it. Now for me, like I said, I still fucks with the Scott Adkins thing. And I definitely 100% agree with you that Finn what was his name? Finn what?
I want to say it was Finn Jones, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I definitely it wasn't believable for me. You know what I mean? Now the actress that they got to play Jessica Jones, that was believable to me. to a certain extent because you know what I mean. She just looked like
I didn't care.
yeah. I didn't care. She just kind of she looked like she would definitely be fucking chronically depressed, drug addict, alcoholic. You know what I mean? Who's just in it for the money type person. It fit. It definitely
What
fit.
But my issue with that is too, and once again, and this is just me speaking out loud. I I don't like the character. I don't like the fact that they tried to make her this reluctant hero who was mad strong, but didn't want to use her power. Like I don't like the whole. I don't like the aspect of her character at all. And I
Yeah,
didn't like this whole thing with her trying to find solace at the bottom of a bottle.
yeah, because again, that wasn't the character of Jules. Because so the superhero that Jessica Jones is, because I didn't even know. I had to look it up. I had no clue who Jessica Jones was. Jessica Jones, her superhero name is Jules.
Correct.
And again, like I said, the character, I had no clue who the fuck the character was. I was like, Jessica Jones, what the fuck is this? And I only watched it because I heard about a like super powered detective, and that's kind of like and that's what piqued my interest initially. Um, but to my knowledge, like that's like her powers were on point. Um, and that's just I then the other thing that I didn't like about the way they did her character is that like they tied her and Luke together by pretty much having her be mind controlled by the Purple Man, which was played perfectly by David Tennant.
Kill
Perfect. Killed. Oh my god, fucking David Tennant played him. David Tennant's an amazing actor in general. Point blank. Period. He's an amazing fucking actor. But like I didn't like that because it's like if you look at Luke Cage's character, do you really think he would wind up in bed with the woman he knows murdered the love of his life?
But hold on, because Lord knows, come to find out, that story wasn't what we thought it was either. So I mean, we all make bad decisions.
Well, granted, like I said, like she was air quote mind controlled to do so, but I don't see Luke as a kind of like, oh, I forgive you. You were mind controlled. You put your hand through the woman I love's chest, but it's okay. I'll lay down and take this dick. I just don't see that happening, me personally.
That was so dramatic.
Yeah, it was. It definitely was. But I personally, I don't know. Do you see that happening? Because I definitely, I don't see that happening. At least for the character of Luke Cage, that just didn't. That just doesn't make sense to me.
I,
Because
I'm sorry, that was a little dramatic. Oh my god. I'm not. I mean, I don't know, because it's one of them things like where does it make sense comic book wise? Yeah, because like he even said it, like, you let me be inside you, and this is what you did, and it's like, you know what? He's like, yo, you are a piece of shit. The fuck away from me.
Mm,
But I mean, Luke and Jessica do wind up together for a short period of time. They actually have a daughter together.
mm. Okay. Okay. All right. See, this is something I didn't know.
Yeah, but I mean, I want to say their daughter's name is Danny, Daniela. So I mean, think about it. Jessica's strength, his skin. That kid's a fucking tank.
That's a fucking problem. That's a fucking problem. Now, I want to backpedal real quick, and I want to. No, actually, no, I don't want to backpedal. I'll go for it. The casting for the show of Luke Cage was fucking phenomenal. Fucking phenomenal. Again, granted, like I said, you would rather had somebody else play Luke Cage than Michael Coulter. I personally love Michael Coulter as a character. But come on, we got Marshall Ali as Cottonmouth. That man is a fucking legend. Rosario Dawson. Don't forget. Don't forget. Don't forget. The one that played Mariah.
Oh yeah,
Word.
she's another one who plays two characters in the MCU, but we'll not go along with it.
Whoa, hold on. Who's the second character? Like I feel like it's right there.
She was the one that started the Civil War. She's the one that went to Tony and gave her the picture of her kid talking about he died in Sokovia.
Yeah, that was her. She played such a small role. That's why I didn't remember. Yeah, it was right after he did the speech at the high school.
Yes.
Oh, okay. See? Damn.
When he supposedly mocked Mysterio.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And then we got the actress who played Misty Knight, Simone Missick. Amazing. Fucking amazing. And then Shades. Theo
Theo
Ross.
Rossi.
Yeah. Like we don't ever really see him like in his acting credits. We don't ever really see him take a lead role in a lot of stuff. But when whatever character that he is tasked to play, he plays the fuck out of that character.
Yeah.
No, whether it be in Sons of Anarchy, Vendetta, Luke Cage, Lowriders, like he plays the fuck out of the whatever character. And we usually see him as he's usually like the sidekick kind of character, in a way. He's usually like the character that you don't really, he's usually the henchman, like the right hand kind of henchman. But man, he plays a good ass right hand henchman. The way just the way he played Shades was ridiculous.
Oh yeah.
And then, of course, season 2, Bushmaster, Mustafa Shakir.
Yeah, he played the fuck out of that role.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. And I feel like that's also a part of the reason why this show really went off as well as it did, because of the sheer star power. Not even aside from star power, because you have movies that have the star power but just fail miserably because of the script. But I want to attribute it to having a good script and then having some absolutely fantastic actors, like somebody that we don't really see too often anymore. Ron Jones, he played Bobby Fish.
Yes.
Like we don't really see him too much anymore. But like, bro, come on, amazing, absolutely amazing. Then Kathy played Reverend James, bro, absolutely amazing. He played in Fan Forstick. He was Mr. Storm. He was Johnny and Susan Storm's father.
Yes. I believe they did his episodes here right before he passed away.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. I was like, damn. Yeah. I was like, shit. Like again, he's an absolutely phenomenal actor. Everyone that they had in this show was absolutely phenomenal. Not necessarily not pulling away from the white actors, but the black acting gold and the people of color that they had in the show, it was absolutely fucking phenomenal. And then let's not forget Eric Harvey, who played Stryker.
Yeah. Nah, and a lot of people didn't like that character, but I thought he did great.
Granted, I definitely do it. I definitely did as well.
From the way he read his lines to the way he carried himself to like the whole thing with him being the Bible spewing, outspoken Negro. Listen, man, you speak to me like you're not in the presence of death. Like I'm like, okay,
right? Like it's absolutely phenomenal. And then and what really jams my Glock is the fact that the way they ended season 2. The way they ended season 2 was absolutely it just really pissed me off.
As far as what?
All right, so boom, him taking down Cottonmouth, him taking down Mariah makes sense that it creates a power vacuum within the criminal underground. Cool. Everyone
Right.
wants to be at the top now. So for him to be like, all right, damn, maybe someone needs to step in and become, and to stop that power vacuum. Although it makes sense to an extent, but I feel like there was they could have did it another way.
No. Because it's one of those things like, if you want to cross the bridge, you got to pay the toll. Like, look at the Godfather of Harlem. Look at Frank Lucas. Look, like, Bumpy Johnson ran Harlem for years, just like Frank did. Just like Nicky Barnes and his crew. Like, there had to be some level of not corruption, but the temptation of the power. Like, if you look into the void long enough, you might flinch.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, in that aspect, that made perfect sense. All he needed was another shark in the water, like, once again, because the fight I say all the time I want to see, and I've yet to see it, is Luke Cage versus Tombstone. Like, all you would have needed was this wealthy albino brother buying up all this property, doing all this extra shit, Like, he starts expanding into Harlem. He's like, yo, you can't do that shit here. We work for Luke. Luke's not with it. Oh, word, you go bring the bulletproof nigga down here and we can settle it then this way.
Ooh, sound like a lot like Tobias Wales over there, brother.
I'm just saying. I hate niggas. That's the motto. Last name Wales, that's a big dead eye go.
Jesus, man.
I'm saying. And it could go just like that. And then come to find out, either maybe Tombstone either worked for the Kingpin or was a rival of the Kingpin. Because Lord knows Wilson Fisk is in New York.
I can definitely see him working for the Kingpin. I can definitely see it because he works for who he works for. Whoever pays him the best.
Right. And let's not forget the Nucci's. The mob family got mentioned in The Punisher. Let's not forget Silvermane and his crew, who are also mobbed up to the eyeballs. Let's not forget Hammerhead. Like, there's mad street level people that they could have had him interact with or deal with or come into conflict with.
And again, it's one of the situations where the script writes itself.
Right.
The script.
And then I always thought, because the doctor who had experimented on him the second time to heal him, yes, he winds up checking in on Diamondback. So I always thought maybe they were going to experiment on Diamondback while he was in a coma and bring him back.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Again, that would have made sense.
Right.
Now,
but they keep making nods to the Serpent Society. We could have had one of them come back. We could have had him deal like with Black Mamba and have like Luke get poisoned.
And I have to deal with him, one, trying to find a cure for the poison, two, while still making sure he's able-bodied enough to defend these guys off and fight them off.
Right. And every time he fights, the poison moves through a system faster or stronger. Like, because the Lord knows they can't do anything to drain it from his body or his system. It's not like they can find someone who's a blood match to dilute it. So,
and the only one that would be a blood match would be Diamondback.
Yeah. Like, oh, I need to help that nigga. Nah, I'm good.
Now, and again, that would have been perfect because it would have played into all the other shit that they got going on at street level. We got Daredevil Reborn coming out. We got Echo. They just dropped the trailer for Echo, which I haven't watched yet, which I will watch later on. They haven't. So there's a lot that they could have really ran with and did with that. But again, actually, I do want to back it up real quick. Remember, we were talking about who would be a great fit who would have been a great fit to play Luke Cage.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when I first saw this actor and first saw him as the character that he was playing, I was like, yeah, he would have been pretty good. Henry Simmons, who played Mackenzie in Agents of Shield.
Yo, that's who I thought he was when I first saw him. Honestly, I thought he was Luke Cage. I swear to God.
Like this man would have been perfect.
Because once again, I find it hard to believe that Nick Fury, especially Samuel Jackson's Nick Fury, don't know about some 6'6" nigga running around Harlem that's bulletproof.
Exactly. I'm like, granted, this man, he would have been in his, at the time when Luke dropped what? How long ago? Maybe like 4 years ago, 5 years ago.
Wait, say it again.
When did Luke Cage drop?
I want to say 2017.
Yeah. So granted, he would have been in like his mid to late 40s, because right now the man is like, he's like 53 years old.
Yeah, 2016.
Yeah. So he would have been in his 40s. But the man is literally 6'4". He's literally 6'4", the exact height of Luke Cage. He's bald. He's bald. All he had would have to maybe if they wanted to maybe pack on or cut a little bit more with muscle and weight and shit like that. But I think he would have been a perfect fit. Now if you look at Michael Coulter on the hand, and he's a great fit. He's younger.
Mm-hmm.
But honestly, height wise, he's only an inch off. But again, I feel like they wanted to go with I personally feel like they wanted to go with a darker skinned black man. Personally, I feel like they wanted to go with a darker skinned black man when they did the show.
I mean, once again, tomato. I don't really see what the issue would have been either way. But
same. I agree, but I think like for the story that they were telling, for the to fit the narrative that they were pushing, I feel like they wanted to push with a darker skinned black man, which is something that I kind of got a problem with, because at the end of the day, to me, black is black. No matter if you're dark skin or light skin, you get pulled over 2:00 in the morning on a Friday night, driving a nice ass car. It don't matter the shade of your skin. If you black, you black. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna be the same goddamn way as the rest of us. So
it's one of the reasons why Luke sided with Captain America during the Civil War.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I just feel like Henry Simmons would have been a better fit. But now that moment that he became Ghost Rider, yeah, that was pretty dope. So I can see him as being a Ghost Rider at one point too. Now with Luke, we all know what we want to see. We want to see him brought to the main stage. We want to see him brought to the big screen. What do you think?
I mean, as far as going big screen, silver screen, I mean, that sounds good. But I want them to do it and it not be campy. I want them to do it and then not be pushing in an agenda. I want it to be, if they were going to do this, it needs to mean to us now what Blade meant to us in the 90s.
Oh. Oh.
Like Luke needs to come in. He needs to be with the shits. He needs to let everyone know what time it is. And it's like he said, like, like if memory serves me correctly, hold on, Power, give me 1 second.
Mm-hmm. Now, I definitely agree with that. For me, so at least for me, I want to again. I want to see him done right. I do want to see the Luke Cage from the show. You know what I mean? But now time has passed. I want to see him maybe become more like the comic book. Where he is that outgoing, like, oh, what's my name type character. Or that, who the fuck I am type character. Because I feel like that would be awesome and it would be great. A great kind of like curveball to throw, the other characters. Because clearly, he'll end up teaming up. We already see him team up with the Defenders. Like maybe see him run into Spiders. Maybe see him run into Peter, Spider-Man. Clearly young Peter, since that's the character that Tom Holland's playing. I think that would be interesting. Clearly see him have run-ins with Daredevil. I think him and Wolverine run-in would be really interesting to see as well. Because I would like to know if Adamantium will be able to actually cut him. But yeah, I think especially with Sam Wilson's Captain America, you know what I mean. Having another black man come to the picture, like, hey, nah, bro, we're gonna get this shit done. This is not very, very straightforward. A street black man, be like, oh, nah,
I definitely see that happening. The
yeah.
other thing, like you said, that was cool, that might be interesting, would be see what does Wolverine's skin, animated close cut his skin?
That would be really interesting, because I think there's a possibility that his skin might end up actually be as strong as the adamantium when it hardens.
I don't think it's ever been tested. Never served me correctly.
Yeah, I don't think so. So that would be interesting to find out if adamantium is stronger than Luke Cage's skin. That's the only thing about adamantium. Adamantium is literally just a super hard, super dense metal.
And technically, that's what Luke's skin is. So
exactly. So that would be really cool. Fucking see Wolverine fucking slash at him, and his sparks fly off his chest. That would be interesting. Oh, did you ever read the comic book or see the theory about what if Wolverine's claws was made of vibranium instead of adamantium?
funny thing, I actually just came across that the other day.
Yeah, I did too. When I saw that, I was like, oh, that's shit. That's terrifying. Actually, I think I might have sent it to you.
Yeah, that would be something special, honestly.
Yeah, that'd be really awesome. Now, but yeah, again, he needs to be done right. It needs to be done right. It can't, like you said, it can't be campy. It can't be like, like it can't be stereotypical. You know what I mean?
Good luck with that.
Yeah, but again, I also want to I also want them to like for him to be used and the character be written in a way where like he's not just left out of the bunch in a way. You know what I'm saying? I want them to actually write the character and put the character to good use. You know, he's not just there for the screen time. He's there to actually, his character helps further the story. His character helps solve the problem at hand. He's a part of the solution. You know what I mean?
But that's one of the reasons why I said it's kind of mean to us what Blade did in the 90s.
But again, that's also that's going to be hard to do because again, times have changed.
But the more they change, the more they stay the same. So all they have to do is give him a specific issue that he had to specifically take care of, and acknowledge that either A was his fault or B he was a part of it. Like for example, how's your gang history and lore?
Yeah. All right.
So they talk all the time about the whole thing with the Crips and the Bloods and how they were rivals, and it just started off with a couple kids fighting back and forth, and then it became so much bigger when other people started joining them. Now, say they take that and use it with the rivals. Now, the rivals wind up going off against another group. Luke washes his hands with all this shit, whatever. He comes back. Lo and behold, the rivals in this other squad, let's call them the Reapers for sake of argument.
Mm-hmm.
So the rivals and the Reapers are on a full-on turf war. People are getting killed in the crossfire. People are having a whole lot of issues. Lo and behold, Luke winds up going to prison, comes back, and was like, yo, this shit's out of control. Someone needs to do something about this. I'm going to do something about this. And he basically lets them niggas know what type of time he's on.
Mm-hmm.
Now, in the process of doing this, lo and behold, you find out that Diamondback is in control of the rivals. He sends the rivals after Luke. Luke packs these niggas up, whatever. And then that whole movie is him just dealing with those two squads. Then at the end, you find out at the end that who's really in charge of the Reapers, but fucking Tombstone.
See, now you're talking about a Luke standalone.
Exactly. I thought that's what we were talking about.
No. Either way, again, you want to see a Luke standalone movie. Personally, I don't want to see a Luke standalone movie. I think they're doing great with the show.
Really?
The show gives more time, you know what I mean, to flesh out a story. We get to see more of the character. Now, when they do a movie, you see the character for that one movie, and then you're waiting however long until they make another movie, or they have them in a cameo. I'm saying take the character from the Luke Cage show, and again have him pull a team up, put him in an Avengers movie, put him in another Marvel movie. Like I said, have him, we have him like we see him in a Captain America movie, especially with Captain America being Sam Wilson. Now I think that'll be dope. You know what I mean? But again, have the character have his own standalone show somewhere where we can get just that character and more of him, because you put him in a standalone movie, you want to get an hour and a half to 2 hours. But you give him a show, you got 8 to 10 hours of watching this character's story unfold. So I would like it. I would like for them to tie the show into the MCU, not just the character himself, but the entirety of the show.
Okay, but I thought that the show already was tied into the MCU.
It was supposed to be, but because of the rights changing, I don't think they can use it.
I mean, they made Daredevil work.
Well, remember, Daredevil, he's getting Daredevil Reborn. So he's getting essentially a soft reboot.
Okay, yeah, you're not wrong.
I mean, but here's the thing, because we see D'Onofrio as Wilson Fisk, so maybe they are gonna pull, the
I
actual
don't,
actors and characters over.
I don't like him as Wilson Fisk.
I know we've talked about this before, but I do though. Want to know who I like better as Wilson Fisk?
Michael Clark Duncan.
Absolutely. R.I.P. my boy. I felt like he was perfect.
He was perfect. Like, once again, I don't believe he's the guy who controls Harlem. That's not Harlem, excuse me. I don't believe he's the guy that controls New York. Like Michael Clark Duncan, I believe he controls New York.
Now I feel like I feel that way about Fitz because he hasn't become that character yet. Because remember, when we were seeing him, he wasn't in sole control of New York. Remember, he was working with the other leaders of the gangs. He was working with the leader of the Triad, the leader of the Hand.
Okay, but here's the thing. Here's the thing. Not to interrupt you.
Okay.
But if you saw Michael Clark Duncan, if you saw him as the kingpin, excuse me, if you saw him as like somebody's enforcer who was like a big mob boss or something, right? And then it's like, lo and behold, maybe like the mob boss got whacked or killed. Then the crew started looking at him, and he was like, "Yo, Willie, what are we gonna do? Willie, what are we gonna do?" He's like, "Yo, call me Wilson." He's like, "We're gonna figure it out." And then everyone goes like, "Oh shit, that's the kingpin!" Like, you know what I mean? Like, I just looking at him. Period. Like, I don't even believe he's become that guy.
I see that.
Because like there was, for example, there was a Killmonger story I read a while ago where Killmonger went to kill Ulysses Claw, and all of a sudden, like this group of metahumans stopped him. Excuse me, not metahumans. Wrong brand. Wrong. This group of mutants stopped him.
Mm-hmm.
These mutants, they rate themselves according to chess pieces. You know, king, queen, knight, rook, pawn. So King pulls Killmonger aside and sits him in front of his employer. Who's King's employer but the Kingpin? And the Kingpin says to Killmonger, like, "Yo, you can't kill Ulysses Claw." He's like, "Ulysses Claw works for me." He's like, "Ulysses Claw works for you." He's like, "Who are you?" He's like, "Kid, if you don't know who I am," he's like, you're not even a player on the board yet."
Mm.
And he was like, "Whether Ulysses Claw knows it or not, he works for me. And I can't just let you take an asset like that from me with no kind of compensation."
Mm-hmm.
So think about Claw and everything he does.
Mm-hmm.
Black market arms dealer who's on multiple watch lists and has sold to multiple warlords across the country. Excuse me, not across the country, across the planet.
Yeah.
And he works for me. Whether he knows it or not, he works for me.
Again, granted, and again, for someone to have that power, I feel like D'Onofrio's Fisk doesn't do that right now. Right now. 'Cause remember, like I said before, when we first see him, he doesn't have sole control over New York. That was his first time going to prison in Daredevil. Now remember,
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were going somewhere with that one. Never mind.
yeah, we'll leave that one alone. I'll leave that one alone. But again, this is that was you know what? That actually that would track. That would definitely track, why he was so angry when we saw him again in Hawkeye. He had a lot of bent up anger. Probably had a lot of his
Yeah, something pent up, all right.
Did I? Anyways, but again, I think the Fist that we're gonna see him play now, he's gonna be angry. He's gonna be smart. And he's gonna be like, "I want it all." Because I remember correctly, what was it? Veronica, Victoria, whatever hell her name.
Victoria.
Yeah, she left him. He ain't got shit no more. So he wants it all now. So I think this is gonna be a different kind of Fisk, and that would be really dope to see Luke Cage go against him. So I like that. I like that storyline. That shit would be perfect. That shit would be so perfect. You know what I mean? Or if they decided to do it in the show, now that Luke is in charge of the Harlem's underground, or at least New York's underground, we might end up seeing him go against Fisk, because Fisk wants his power back. So he's gonna go around to all the little leaders, and be like, "Hey, work for me. This is what you get. You work for me. This is what you get. You don't work for me, you die." So on and so forth. And then he approaches Luke, like, with the same offer: "Work for me. This is what you get. You don't work for me, you die." And Luke's like, "Nigga, what the fuck you say? Yo, get the fuck out of my room. Get the fuck out of my office. With your old bald headed ass." You know what I mean? I can definitely see that, and that there. All that ended up culminating into a final fight between Wilson Fisk and Luke Cage, which would be interesting because Wilson Fisk is also, he has a lot of the same attributes as Luke Cage, but he's just not he's not superhuman. Because apparently I learned and I found out, like, even though it looks like he's fat, that's not fat. That's all
Muscle. All muscle.
Yep.
He's 2% body fat.
So a nigga that's only 2% body fat versus a nigga that has indestructible skin and super strength, and that muscle pretty much gives him super strength as well. Gives Fisk super strength. So, or at least not super. Well, makes him stronger than the ordinary man. So that would be a fucking clash of titans right there.
Right? Well, you think New York City is your kingdom, nigga. I say I'm king of Harlem. You want Harlem? Come take it from me.
Exactly. So I think seeing that would be really good. Would be a really great story. And again, I feel like each and every time Fisk is taken down, he comes back on more of a war path. I feel like he goes to prison, he comes out, he has a stronger squad, he has larger ambitions, and fucking comes back and he hits like even more of a truck. You know what I mean? For pretty much every time it seems like every time he fails, he comes back 10 times stronger in different aspects.
Like, oh, this time I was too slow. So now I'll be faster. This time I didn't have the right connection. So I'm gonna know everybody in the room and who they work for and who they love.
Exactly. And I think, and personally, I feel like D'Onofrio's Fisk would be perfect for that.
We will see.
Yeah. I definitely want to see how Luke interacts with Punisher.
And I think I forget the brother's name who played him in the TV show. But I think he did a great job. I didn't really like that whole thing they did with Jigsaw, but I get that what they were trying to do. I feel like it was a miss. That's just me though.
Granted, yeah, I think John. What was it? John starts with a B.
And I didn't hate the actor that played Jigsaw. I think he did a great job. I just think that the end result was just poor.
Yeah, John Bernthal. John Bernthal as he's the one that played Punisher. I agree. I feel like definitely feel like the second season wasn't as good as the first. But again, it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. It's something that they can definitely build off of. Something that they can definitely, you know, move forward with as well. Because clearly he's going to be in Punisher. I'm sorry, in Daredevil. Um, and again, the Punisher, although he's a street level Marvel Knight, like, and I want to point out when I say Marvel Knights aren't heroes, but they're also not villains. They do their own thing the way they want to and how they want to. So Marvel Knights would be like Blade. Not necessarily a hero, but also not a villain. He rocks on his own, does his own thing. I believe Hulk is also considered a Marvel Knight as well because of the fact that he can go on uncontrollable rampages, but then also turn around and help out the Avengers when some shit go down. He's considered a Marvel Knight. Um, Pretty much they're anti-heroes. Marvel Knights are anti-heroes. They're not good. They're not bad. They're either victims of circumstances and they just do what they want and they just do what they want, and they help out. Let's say they help out when it in turn benefits them.
Hey man, that's the best way to do it, isn't it?
No, absolutely, absolutely. I believe Venom is actually categorized as a anti-hero.
Uh, it depends on which Venom we're talking about. If we're talking about anti Venom, because that's Eddie Brock now.
Hmm.
I would say yes. Excuse me. I can't remember. I can't remember if it's Eddie Brock or if it's Flash Thompson. Once again, so many changes. So many changes. It's
No,
hard to
no,
keep
no.
sometimes.
Flash is now Flash is Venom and Eddie is anti Venom. Because remember, Eddie gets cancer after the Venom leaves him.
Yes, 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 yes.
It leaves him and goes to Flash, and while Flash is Venom, Eddie's dying due to cancer, and that's when ends up tapping into a little bit of symbiote in him. That symbiote combines with his white blood cells, since he has a high blood cell count because of the cancer. The chemo radiation pretty much jump starts that and becomes anti venom. All the strengths of a symbiote, none of the weaknesses. Again, yeah, nope, not gonna say anything. Not gonna say anything.
So that Power Farrakhan again.
No, no, not Power Farragon. I didn't want to drop any spoilers for anyone.
Oh yes, yes. Let's not give it
Yeah,
another week.
I'll give it another week. Actually, you know what? Screw it. Let's talk about it next week. Let's talk about Spider Man. Let's do a Spider Man 2 review next week.
That works.
Yeah, I'm done with I'm done with the game. Completely done with the game.
So we
One.
definitely do that. So let that be a forewarning to all level sevens. If you have not completed the game, do not tune in next week.
Yeah, it's gonna be 100% spoiler cast. 100% spoiler cast. Um, but yeah. So I mean, but then Agent Venom is considered on the hero side.
Yeah.
If I remember correctly, Agent Venom is Flash Thompson.
Yes.
Yeah. Man, damn, I can't even say anything. Damn, I can't say anything that along those lines either until next week. Um, but yeah, so dude, dude, a venomized Luke Cage.
I believe we saw that briefly in one of the Spider-Man cartoons.
Um, and one of the in the game, and I believe one of the games. Actually, no, he didn't get venomized in that game. I'm talking about Web of Shadows for the 360.
No, no, I'm actually talking about the actual cartoon.
Yeah.
I distinctly remember being an episode where that does happen.
Was it? Copy.
Copy.
Nah, check the chat.
So did I.
I still can't remember. It was one of the newer ones, right? With the Spectacular. The Spectacular had a lot of crossovers.
No, I want to say it was Ultimate Spider-Man.
Huh.
Because that's back when when he was part of the team. And they were all Shield recruits. It was him, Nova,
Agent
Luke,
Iron Fist,
White Tiger.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Because Ultimate Spider-Man was out after Spectacular Spider-Man, right?
Correct.
Yeah, that was one where Drake Bell took over voice acting for Peter.
So random.
Yeah. That was the actor, the voice actor for Spectacular Spider-Man was pretty pissed. Because he didn't know that he got recasted until the show came out. Yeah, Hollywood will do you fucking dirty. So that'll be pretty interesting. Yeah, man, I would love to see, because they have Marvel has this massive world, and the character of Luke Cage has been a part of it all. If you look at the comic books, he is everywhere. And again, like I said, I went through the list of of characters that he's worked with before. I've went through the list of teams that he's been a part of. Like there's so much he can do, and so many things that he can be a part of. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Again, they can do hell. And there's he was part of Secret Wars. So that there's that's interesting there. So we could possibly see him in Secret Wars, because if I remember correctly, let's see, in Battle World, the domain of Spider-Land, Luke Cage was a part of the Resistance that attacked the Spider Queen in Battle World. He was also in Valley of Doom, where he helped Sheriff Red Wolf keep the peace in timely flowing in the timely flowing of death of Mayor Wilson Fisk. Again, these are this is Battle World stuff. Like he's been a part of like some really big stuff, especially in Ultimate Marvel. Remember, Ultimate Marvel's what the MCU is loosely based off.
Yeah, considering there's a lot of fuckery that goes on in that universe. I'm really surprised he did that. Between Captain America being a xenophobe, to Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch being lovers, to there's a lot of shit that goes on in that universe.
Yeah. So it's and then he was also part of Marvel Zombies and Marvel Zombies 2, Marvel Noir. Like the list goes on. Earth X, Heroes Reborn. He was dude. He was a part of House of M. Yeah. So for those who know, like, so in the Luke Cage that's in the House of M reality. So after he gains his power, Luke actually forms a criminal syndicate in Hell's Kitchen, which he later turns into the Human Resistance Movement. So like, and then like he recruits several human heroes to his side, including like Cloak, who actually looks up to Luke as like a father figure. Let's see, is that
he's another character to me that does not get the burn that he should.
Oh, absolutely.
Because for anyone who don't know, Cloak different. Cloak is different.
Yeah. I feel like Cloak and Dagger started something, It started something with him, but like Cloak go hard.
Yeah.
So like there's so many things that they can do, um that they can do with him, especially with the Earth X. Earth X, man, pretty much like in Earth X, most of humanity has gained superpowers, but it's still in need of like policing. So an older Luke Cage is like a police officer, all like with complete uniforms and everything, and he like recruits Peter, Spider Man and shit like that. Um, so dude, yeah, and then you have Exiles, which is like a weird one off kind of thing, where like Luke Cage is known as Power Fist, and it's like a mixture of like Earth 616 versions of Luke Cage, Power Man, and Iron Fist. Yeah, yeah. He's also the leader of the Avengers in Exile. Um, yeah, it's there's so many things that they can do with this character that personally needs to be done right.
Well, that's one of the things that was really interesting because Earth X is basically like the Marvel equivalent of DC's Kingdom Come.
Mm-hmm.
And there is some shit going on Earth X.
Yeah. So, like, wait, isn't Earth X not the Nazi Earth?
In the DC universe, yes.
DC universe, right? Yeah, DC. Yeah, not the Nazis. That the Nazis won and shit like that. Yeah, but yeah, all new, all different. Marvel, fresh start. Marvel, reforming the Avengers, Thunderbolts, Jessica Jones and the Avengers. You know his return to Heroes for Hire. Like there's so many different superhero ties and shit like that. Um, like although Cage is has little in common with most of New York's other superhumans, like an ill-conceived attempt to collect a fee from the from Doctor Doom leads him to actually befriend the Fantastic Four.
Yes, because he replaces the Thing for a while as a member of the team.
Yep. So literally, Luke is a part of everything. So like it would they have avenues. They have places they can go. You know what I mean? And it's all about finding the right writers, finding the right producers, and giving it whatever amount of money it requires to get it done right. Personally, that's just the way I see it right
And I agree.
now. You know, um, I just realized one thing that we didn't talk about was his catchphrase.
Oh, Sweet Christmas?
Yeah. Now, how did that come about?
If
Is
I'm
that
keeping it a stack, I honestly don't know.
yeah? That is yeah. I'm because for that to just be a random thing, like oh yeah, sweet Christmas. That's a thing now. I feel like that's so random. Sweet Christmas. Now in the show, it says that he got it from his father. It was
Well,
something that his father used to say.
well, it was more coined by him because with him and Diamondback being revealed to be the preacher's son, he didn't want him cussing. So instead of him saying "oh shit" or "oh fuck," he'd be like "Sweet Christmas."
Yup.
It's his way of censoring himself. So that kind of explained it. And I guess I like that a little bit better, opposed to him just being using outright profanity.
Granted. Um, And I personally like that too because it shows that he has more depth to him. You know what I mean? And that I feel like it was also a part of his allure to the women in the show, as well. Because this is like, you know, I got we got this 6'4", bald, extremely strong black man that doesn't swear, that chooses not to swear. He's highly articulated. Oh, the rivers run. You know what I'm saying?
Like, so
So
why are my shoes wet? I just step in a puddle.
you about to, bro. Get her. Take her outside for some coffee.
Coffee.
I'm not gonna lie. After I saw the show, I was using that. I was using the fuck out of that.
So you trying to get some coffee?
Man, when I say I went for coffee, I went for coffee. I'm not using that shit.
I told you I had a black cup today.
Mm. Nah, I'm gonna leave it alone. I ain't fucking myself on that one. I'll leave that. Yeah, I'll leave that alone. Yeah, I'm not gonna put myself on the noose on that one. Nope, that's not a hill I'm gonna die on today. I am not gonna die on that hill. Nope, my couch ain't that comfy. But dude, the amount of coffee I got, Not gonna lie, I didn't mess around and had too much cream in my coffee. It was too sweet.
Mm.
Like nah, I don't really like this coffee too much. So I decided to take the sugar, the sugar and the sweetness out of it. Decided to go just straight black coffee.
Mm-hmm.
Very good and very energizing. You know what I mean? Definitely perked me up a little bit more. But then I accidentally put way too much cream into the coffee again, and it was just like damn near drinking milk.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like milk, but eh, this milk was a little spoiled. Didn't No, it wasn't actual milk either. It felt like kind of like soy milk, which it
Well, shit,
really is.
if it was spoiled, it's more like cottage cheese.
Oh no, there was no cotton. No. But like it was more so like milk that is not real milk, like soy milk. And like as we all know, soy is actually really not good for you.
It is not.
No. So yeah, I fucked around. I had some soy milk in my coffee, and I was like, no, can't do that no more. Never doing that again. The coffee I make now is good. It's great. Found a nice little balance. Now I want to point out, I want to make an announcement. Saratoga Comic Con's coming up. I'm interested in being there. When I go there, I would love to be bringing some merch. And I want to know what the crowd thinks about it. So please jump in the comments. How would you feel of meeting up with the Super Breakdown team for a trivia contest where we'll be giving away our Fuck Prep Time t-shirts and our Fuck Prep Time merch?
You know what I'm saying? We heard from a very reliable source. Them shits go hard in the future. Very reliable source.
Very reliable source. And honestly, we've done a lot of testing research, and according to a lot of people, they fucks with it too. So Nate might be right. Nate he might be right.
Yeah, every time I'm in public, yo, where can I get one of those? Yo, you got those in my size? Yo, who made that shirt?
Yo.
I'd actually like,
Go ahead.
I said I'd actually like to take a moment to shout out to our other partner who's not in the group with us right now, Saying Jag.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know,
He
he's
will.
actually the whole inspiration behind the Fuck Prep Time shirt.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, man. If it wasn't for him, fuck prep time would not be here. Like, it would not be a thing. That shit's hilarious.
Said, where's the prep time? Where's the prep time?
Wait a minute. Hold on. Winnie the Pooh is public domain, right?
Yeah.
He's going on a shirt with big words over the top. Chronic masturbator. Yo, I'm making that shit tonight. We can't get sued for it.
Whoa! Oh my god! Oh my god!
Oh, man. If Kirby wasn't copyrighted, I'd have a shirt with Kirby on it that says, "Does your clit suck like this?"
Oh my god!
Oh shit! Oh fuck yes! I just realized I could do that.
I was not prepared.
Talk about honeypotting.
Oh my god! I was not prepared.
Ah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yup. Yup. Winnie the Pooh. Winnie the Pooh. Uh-huh. Yeah. Yup. Yup. New merch coming soon. We are in the process of setting up our store, our online store, where you guys will be able to purchase our Fuck Prep Time merch. We'll be able to purchase Chronic Masturbator merch. That doesn't sound right.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
Something else. I gotta figure something else for that. Um, our custom Winnie the Pooh merch. I'll
That
say
shit sounded crazy.
that. Oh wow! Yes, that's nutty. That is nutty. No pun intended. Wow. Okay. We're gonna work on that. It was just off the top of the dome, right off top of the head. We're gonna refine that. We gotta refine that. Yeah, our fuck prep time merch. You'll be able to get all the merch, all of our logo merch, t-shirts with our logos on it, depending on who your favorite of us is. Um, so you'll be able to rep us. We got a few other designs that will be dropping as well. Um, so definitely, we will most definitely keep everyone updated because once this launches, we're gonna have a little bit of we're gonna have something for everybody, for everyone, clothing styles, everything. Fuck prep time will be an entire sweatsuit.
Khaki suit.
Yeah, winter is coming, so
Okay.
it's gonna be cold, gonna be chilly. But at the end of the day, we still need y'all to remember that the fuck prep time. You know what I'm saying? So it gets cold out. Go on there. They're all gonna be reasonably priced as well. Nothing wild, nothing crazy. Hey, shit, we might even have some kicks for y'all as well. Okay, yeah, I got a hold of a new toy to make merch, and I'm going a little overboard with it.
He's
So
having fun. That's all I care about. Entertain yourself, Power.
yes, but hey, I just want to point out I will not be purchasing the Winnie the Pooh shirt merch. I will not be enjoying myself. But hell, if y'all like the show that much, you might get a blanket. You might be able to get a TSB blanket.
Oh my god.
And if you like I'm gonna call it the CM, the CM shirts. I'm I can't even call them the chronic shirts because now it sounds like you have a big ass weed leaf on the front.
Oh my god.
Ooh, that would
the
be interesting. That would be interesting.
the winning self-serving. How about that? The
Uh,
self-serving winning. Shit.
yeah, I don't know because they can't say self-serving poo. That's horrible. Um, yeah, I'm sorry. I'm a child for that. I am a child for that one. Um, but hey, you never know. We might put the we might put the chronic masturbator logo on a blanket for those of you who are kind of lonely. Um,
Mm.
I know it gets lonely out here for us nerds, but hey, listen, we have each other's backs. We don't have each other's fronts because clearly it's a sticky situation. Not dealing with that. Um, but no, yeah, guys. On a serious tip, we got a lot of merch coming out for you guys. I'm about to go God mode, about to go beast mode, cranking out this merch. Once our store is set up, we will be putting it out there. You guys can buy everything. The shipping time we'll take. We'll leave it at a minimum of 2 weeks shipping time for all of our merch. Depending what it is, maybe a little bit longer, maybe a little sooner, depending on what it is. Because I really like the idea of having some kicks.
Yeah, me too.
Hell yeah, I would love some kicks. And again, all of our designs, I will be making all of our designs available for multiple styles of of pretty much clothing. So whether it be t-shirts, tank tops, sweaters, hoodies, um, you name it. I'm cracking down so you guys can have the merch that you guys want, so you guys can represent. And once we do have all this merch, we will be doing more giveaways on our Kick channel and on our Twitch. Because again, we are back to streaming on multiple platforms: Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Kick. We're back. We're back to doing it all, people. So if you can't catch us on Kick, catch us on YouTube. Can't catch us on YouTube, catch us on our Facebook. The Super Breakdown. We are the Super Breakdown on everything except Instagram. I think we're a Super Breakdown podcast on Instagram.
Yes, correct.
Yeah, but and on Kick and Twitch. But yeah, look up Super Breakdown. We're the only ones out here. We're the only ones doing it. All right, we the best. So check us out. I want to give a shout out to Midnight Comics as well, because again, they've been helping us a lot throughout our journey within this last year. They're out here, they're doing the things. Check them out. Midnight Comics on everything except YouTube. Where no Midnight X Comics. Sorry, Lloyd. Midnight X Comics on everything except for YouTube and Facebook, which is just Midnight Comics. Check them out. They are Atlanta's first black-owned and operated comic book and manga publishing company. And I had the fortune of being able to read a good bit of their comics. Amazing. Their manga. I love the manga, love the art. So check them out. It's all they are amazing. And they also have merch too. So shout out to Midnight Comics. Thank you guys for all the help that you've been giving us. And we're looking forward to, reciprocating as much help and as much love that you guys have been showing us throughout our time doing this podcast. Um, yeah, and I believe you can check them out on the streaming as well on Twitch, the Gamers Haven. So they got a lot going on. They also just started another podcast as well called the Indie Breakdown. I see what you guys did there. See what you guys did there. I like it. I like it. The Indie Breakdown on Spotify. Check that out as well. Like I said, these guys they have a lot. They have a lot going on. Shout out to Lloyd. Shout out to Natasha. You guys are amazing. Um, Do you have any last words for the people?
If I had to pick any last words for the people regarding Luke, it would have to be not every cup of coffee is a good cup of coffee. Always be mindful of who it is you call your friend and who you call your enemy. And at the end of the day, I'm Luke Cage, motherfucker.
For me, I'm gonna say, man, it is what it is. You can't understand a man if you ain't live what he live. Roaches in the crib, ain't got no food up in the fridge, plus the crime running rampant. It's screwed up like it's screwing up all the kids. Bulletproof love. Bulletproof love.
Real
Stand
men wear yellow.
Real men wear yellow and tiaras and the handcuffs of their oppressors.
Whoa. Catcher Freeman? Catcher Freeman?
No. But no. Your real men wear yellow. But stand up for what you believe in. If you have the power, protect the ones that don't. And make sure and drink your coffee. Drink your coffee. Go out for coffee.
Forward always, never back.
Exactly. Oh. That's deep. Forward always, never back. Yes. Oh my fucking God. Yes, that is great. Forward always, never back. And above all, remember, fuck prep time.
Fuck prep time.
Ladies and gentlemen, that has been another amazing show of the Super Breakdown. We are so gracious for your time. We love the fact that y'all love us, and we love the fact that next week we're doing a breakdown of Spider-Man 2. It's a spoiler cast, so if you haven't finished the game yet, don't watch. But yeah, absolute spoiler cast. And quick announcement: Jay and Jag will be back next week's episode. So stay tuned. We'll have some awesome gameplay of Spider-Man 2 for you guys next week. Love y'all. Peace.